Honorable Swapan Das Gupta ji.
Thank you, sir. May I just start by suggesting that you gave a ruling just now to speak on the bill, but I think this is a debate where everyone has spoken around the bill. Because on the bill, there is a total unanimity, and this is a bill which is basically a clarificatory bill. However, this debate has been very, very useful in terms of highlighting what Mr. Alphonse pointed out, the state of judicial administration, the state of law in this country. I think it's also very clear from the interventions from all sides of the House that everyone agrees that law is too important a subject to be left to lawyers. I think it's also, everyone would agree that it's also too important a subject to be left to judges. And I can give you the reasons why. I think we also saw it in this place. Professor Manoj Jha, who's unfortunately not in the House at present, referred to some of his heroes, judicial heroes. He spoke about Justice Krishna Iyer, and in the same breath he spoke about Lord Denning, although how the two meet is a matter of conjecture. There are others. Mr. Amar Patnaik spoke about Oliver Wendell Holmes. And you see, if you look at it, you'll find that there are very distinct philosophies which go into it. And you might find the distinct philosophy of also vilifying judges who don't give a judgment that suits your convenience. And I think this is what sometimes has been happening in this place. We don't like a judgment which was given on Ayodhya, for instance. I'm just suggesting. But we don't ask ourselves the question, which should have been asked in the very first place, why was the Ayodhya dispute taken to the Supreme Court in the first place? Everyone agreed that it was not really a matter of some land dispute. No, sir, I'm coming to a larger point. I'm just coming to a larger point.
Please,
Mr. Jairam, I'm talking about some ideas. I'm talking about
subject.
ideas.
Please.
But the point really is here that
Please.
when Parliament abdicates its role and gives up its turf and suggests that it must go to the judiciary. And then, if I might use Mr. Brittas's very forceful and very ideologically loaded intervention, he suggested that, judges must have a social conscience, and the subtext what is that they must be very progressive in their outlook. Now, is the role of the judiciary, and I think this is really half the problem today.
Please,
I'm talking about something else, Mr.
John
Yes, I'm not yielding. You've had your say. The point,
do not disturb,
which has to be really arguing.
Please, आपस में बात ना करें. आपस में बात. Please.
The point which really has to be thing is that is the role of the judiciary to interpret the law or to make the law? Many of the problems in India today have been because of judge-made laws. Not because of Parliament has made the laws, but because Parliament abdicated its responsibility. And it's when Parliament abdicates its responsibilities, that's when half the problem starts. Of course, there will be disputes. There will be debate. But unless the sovereignty of Parliament is acknowledged and the role of judicial, what Mr. Jaitley used to call judicial overreach, is actually identified, today we have taken a very bad precedent from something like the European Union, whereby sovereign decisions of member states are often overruled by the European Court. And this is a disease, if I may say so, which seems to be coming and creeping into India. increasingly, more and more, we are taking recourse to the judiciary to solve problems. For instance, to give you an example, there is a debate, or maybe there is unanimity on 377 of the Penal Code. Now that ideally, if we want to repeal 377, we should not ask for a judge to say we decriminalize it. We should come to Parliament and actually change the law. The moment we change the law, that is our responsibility. We do it with full awareness. And I think today, sir, we are getting into a situation where we are depending more on what sort of judges are we appointing. We are appointing judges, some of whom want to do prayashchitta for what their fathers did. We have appointed judges, and Madam Vandana Chauhan quoted one of them, whose only contribution seems after retirement to have written a book saying how many sharis he recited in his judgments. So we have got, and as Madam Chauhan also pointed out in the context of the NGT, we have judges who are probably not equipped to deliver the judgments they give. And yet, sometimes we say, but this is a judgment. Ultimately, if Parliament does not step in and utilize its powers and actually takes upon its responsibility that it is the principal lawmaking institution in this country, we will be passing on the buck to someone else who may fulfill it, who may not fulfill it, but then distortions will happen, as has been the case in the judicial appointments bill. It's this basic point I want to just flag for this thing, because this is an important debate which is really about different ideas on what the state of the law is. And of course, I don't think there's any disagreement whatsoever that the state of judicial administration in this country has to be upgraded quite fundamentally. I just wanted to make this point. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.